We're officially halfway through the year, and I just want to talk about my top 6 reads so far this year. I chose 6 because, well, 6 months, although I didn't pick one from every month. But also picking 5 was way too hard. I've had a really good reading year so far. So these aren't ranked, they're just listed in order of how I read them. So first up, we have Bunny. This was so delightfully fucked up, I could not put it down, and I think that is probably the best way to describe this book. I don't want to say too much because I highly recommend anyone reading this go into it blind. I did, because all I knew beforehand was there was a group of girls who were basically like a sorority, kind of more like a cult, and they had this exclusive event called the Smut Salon, and they invited our main character Samantha to it, and things just go from there. I really enjoyed the writing style for this. The locations, the senses, appearances always successfully gave this constantly creeped out feeling. The whole city was just as equally fucked up as this little sorority cult. It was so addictive because I just always needed to know what was going to happen next, and then I was left there saying like, what the fuck? So that made it incredibly hard to put down. The details about the bunnies from Samantha's POV really added to the creepy feeling too, because you're feeling like you're being watched. And with all the WTF moments, it's truly like a fever dream in a book. I also like that the book attacks the toxicity of female relationships. It highlights the possessive, the controlling aspects of it, and how the victims of the toxicity are always the ones who are lonely, and how easy it is for them to fall for it with that false sense of security. We really see this through Samantha's eyes before, during, and after her bunnyification. So next up is The Poet Empress. I hope you don't get too sick of me yapping about this book, because I promise you I am not done yet. The Poet Empress is a dark fantasy, and it succeeds where some other books can fall flat. There is more than one villain in the story, and Taryn, who is our main villain, is just written so well. He's more than just that classic morally gray, or more than just that dude that does a bunch of bad stuff. He truly makes a reader feel something, and I really felt something. He's not memorable because he's powerful, he's memorable because he's tragic, and that's the key to Taryn. The things that Wei goes through are also very memorable. She's in this position because she wants to help her family and her village, but she is forced to adapt and change. She is forced to use the power that she gained while she teeters that morally gray line, and she's a truly compelling FMC. I really enjoyed being in her head. This one is a masterpiece. And changing it up from dark to cozy, we have Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter. This is a perfect book for curling up with a fuzzy blanket, your favorite tea, and a kitty. I might be a little biased towards books that center around animals and helping them because I'm such a big animal lover, but it's fine. Agnes Aubert's is the perfect cozy fantasy because of its heart. Agnes dedicates her life to her cat shelter while also dealing with grief and working on healing. This makes the emotional journey in the book feel more genuine rather than shallow. This is a slower paced book, but it truly is so sweet, and it's nice to change it up from the darker or more action-packed books, and this one definitely made me smile. Now for probably the most epic series finale that I've read in a long time, we have The Tempest Blade. Although I would have put multiple books from this series on my top reads so far, I ended up picking just one to give the other books a chance. But realistically, all of the books I read from the Bridge Kingdom series have been 6 stars. This one delivers absolutely everything that one could hope for in such an epic final book. Political intrigue, impossible choices, heartbreaking romance, and high-stakes warfare. I love that we tied in all of the characters that we met throughout the series together in one final book. And my favorite trope is found family, and this definitely exemplifies that with how everyone works together and supports one another and just like shows up for one another. It's actually so sweet. The characters in this book are just so well written, and there's just so much attention given to them. Rather than being a copy-paste of one another and having some tweaks, each one feels unique. The series is also more romance forward, which isn't usually my main preference, but it's done so well that I don't really care that it's the main focus in the series. If you need some anxiety while reading a book, or maybe just something to give you a reason to scream, or scream at it. Ballad of the Fallen Dragons will definitely give you a bunch of reasons to scream at it. The prose in this book is just as beautiful as it was in book 1. Rave is still a spicy little meatball, and we get introduced to some new characters that we love. We continue rooting for the characters that we met before, and we end up with even more questions left unanswered, which was a little frustrating, but it's okay because it's done in a way that feels intentional. So you just know book 3 is going to pop the heck off. And I honestly think book 3 is going to be like 800 plus pages. There's a lot to unpack. I know it's coming. I think about this book nearly every day since I finished it, and especially with the ending, I really want book 3 like right now, but I will be patient. Patience is key. And last but not least is This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me. In this we have Maggie, who gets thrown directly into her favorite series, except the catch is that it was never finished. So while she's navigating things that she does know, and she knows them really well, events are changing slightly and she needs to adapt. She's basically writing the ending herself and trying to figure things out. I really like that this book doesn't hold your hand at all. As readers, we're trusted to figure it out as we're thrown right into the story. This has the best found family, really interesting characters that you actually care about. We have political intrigue, and the pacing just feels right. It's not high action the entire time, but we have moments of pause where we get to simmer with the story, get to know the characters on a deeper level, and it just feels right. I'm really excited to reread this one when the second book comes out because I know I'll love it even more the second time around. It just has that quality, you know? So that is my top 6 of 2026 so far. It was hard to pick just 6 because, as I mentioned before, my reading year has been really heckin' good so far. Let me know if any of my favorites made your top favorite list. And cheers, thanks for watching, and happy reading.